Good morning. Happy Monday to you. It is Monday, January 4th. We are well into the new year, and I'm knowing that each and every one of you had a fabulous New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, however you celebrate it, friends, family, community, whatever that looks like for you. I'm knowing that it was a joyous start for the new year. It's always a great way to start in that vibration. My name is Rachel Allen, and I'm all about redefining fitness. I believe that we as women have the right, the responsibility to walk out a new attitude around sticking with a food plan, moving the body that enables us to co-create fitness through fun and intentionality, and of course allowing a transformation, so allowing it to be transformative. And so I know for myself it's continuing to redescribe, readjust, realign, revisit all of those wonderful things. So I just celebrate you right where you are in this creative process, knowing that as we walk this out together, co-inspiring each other, that however that channel, however that fitness program looks for you, that it's something that works for you, that enlivens you and calls you forward. I know that I actually waited to do the video till Monday because I had some dates that needed to be confirmed. As you know, I mentioned in the last video that we are going to begin a couple of opportunities down in the Grounded Wellness Center. I was going to originally do a morning meditation. That space is how do we say, more Art Deco. So to start really early in the morning would not be comfortable for everybody involved, as much as meditation is all about transcending the environment. We want to make sure that we have the right energy in that space. So I'm going to wait till we start warming up a little bit. The sun is greeting the ground a little bit earlier in the morning before we move into the morning meditations there. So we do have a date change. We're going to do one morning meditation beginning on, or it's actually going to be a meditation. It's going to be a healing meditation on January 31st. So when you go to our Facebook page, you'll see the changes, the events. I've sent out a couple of links, updates around that, and feel free to share that with anybody that may have already received an update or an invite regarding meditation. And the healing meditation is a little bit different than just a sit meditation. It's actually one of a fun one for me. It offers everybody the opportunity to share an area, an aspect of their life where they would like to know a greater truth, and we move through that. It is limited to an hour, so I do include or invite everybody to let us know if you're going to be there, so that we can make sure that I can kind of make sure on time, and we track our time accordingly. We want to make sure everybody has and receives the greatest benefit from that time together. And the other date that is still at the Grounded Wellness Center is the chance to move, and that is going to be on Sunday the 17th, and that's going to be at 1 p.m. So both of those, I invite everybody to that, of course, and that is all are welcome, and there's just a small fee for that. We've been blessed by a reasonable rate in that space, so we want to make sure that we're able to circulate accordingly. Next Monday, the 11th, we are beginning our group in my home, and it's going to be the aspects of self. We're going to be taking on an 8-week opportunity to grow, develop, and learn more about ourselves. And we're going to begin, of course, with the key aspect, which is the aspect of being, and calling forth, seeing how the universe calls us to be in the world a little bit more clearly, a little bit more connected, if you will, or more clear of our connection, I should say. So if that's something that calls you, just feel free to either contact me, email, phone, or Facebook, and that way we make sure we have ample space here in my home. My home is it's an intimate space, so we want to make sure there's ample for everybody. And so it moves us into this week. And this week, I don't know about how you all, I know that we did a clearing, energetic clearing for those of us who did the 21st being the solstice, and then moving into the 25th, which was the full moon. And then here we are already on the 4th. And so it's that continuation of just letting go, of continuing to clear out that which no longer serves, really. And so within that clearing is the opportunity to get really clear about the inner dialogue, the way we conversate with ourselves, and the way that we walk in the world. What things are we letting go of? What habits? And so for me, as far as I'm beginning to identify or put a language to the things that I want to co-create. Like I've mentioned, it's always a great opportunity to begin to take stock in terms of what obstacles exist within me from creating, co-creating, manifesting, making real everything that I see as possible within my life and within my living. And like I've mentioned, this last year was a really great year for me. I've got my vision board or my list up on my by my door at my entry, which always allows me, as I'm walking out out to remember in my morning meditation, to look up and remember what I'm being called forth to walk out into the world, allow the universe to channel through me. And so on that list, of course, is always the positive outcome. As I walk in the direction of a desired outcome, what is revealed sometimes, or many times I should say, is the error beliefs, the obstacles, the things that I'm ready to let go of, knowingly or unknowingly. And what usually kind of invites that is it could be a relationship at work, it can be a relationship, it could be anything in the outer world, I should say, that taps us, nudges us into the awakened awareness of what is possibly blocking our ability to move more freely in the world. And so the awareness for me the last couple of weeks is this, as I've been doing a lot of clearing, like I mentioned, starting actually kind of pre-November, I guess when I left my last place of employment, August, September, and began moving in the direction of this I should say, revisited career path. And what I've noticed is that hiding, as much as I am doing video, I'm a great hider. I find ways to hide aspects of myself, feel safe, enable me, quote unquote, to feel safe, the perception of feeling safe, I should say. And it's all a lie, the great big lie that I've bought. But I literally was really awakened to that last week in the multitude of ways that I hide. And so this last week I had the opportunity to make a list, and I actually called a family member of mine. We do a spiritual reading every morning, and I was able to turn that stuff over verbally and just say, these are the ways that I hide. And so what I am very clear about is there are some familiar patterns that also allow me to hide behind the additional excess weight, if I guess we could say. And so as a woman who is walking fitness into her life and continues to hit the path and love to run and love to work out and love to really move my body, whether it be in dance, whatever that is for me, the way the universe calls me, I still am very aware of the physical body. And I think that's probably the main reason when I started doing this visioning process to really dive into this, how do we perceive ourselves as women, and how do we really let go, release, relinquish that judgment of physical body. Now, some of that comes with the opportunity, like we were talking about, that self-esteem, self-acceptance, which all comes along with that self-realization of understanding what drives my bus. And when there's two energies that are pulling me in opposite directions, one that's pulling me to the gym and then one that's at home that's talking or allowing me to hide, quote unquote, then the two worlds keep me in an appearance of separation, which means that the physical body will change only to a certain degree because vibrationally it's out of alignment with what the soul is calling me to experience. So when I move into creating or allowing that shift on all levels, it means I have the opportunity to discover the error beliefs, communicate those, and allow those to dissipate to the nothingness from which it came. And the humbling piece is, I sat with a dear friend of mine last night, and I've become aware of the patterning that is so ingrained within me that allows me to hide. I was sharing, one of my favorite things to do is go through my closet and to let go of things. And I used to do it really rigorously every 6 months, 5 to 6 months. And I noticed that I sat on some bags of clothes this last time when I went through my closet. And I can laugh now, what is funny is I noticed that the clothes I was letting go of are the ones that I ideally would like to be in. I had bagged up all my slender clothes because I'm still coming down the scale from not my ideal weight, I'll say. And so as I'm sliding into home, I noticed that I was willing to let go of the clothes that enable me to hide. Isn't that fabulous? I was hanging on to, did I say that right? I'm hanging on to the clothes that allow me to hide. And those of you who know the way I dress, I tend to dress very flowy anyways, but really, it's like, really, Rachel, that's where you're going? So this is the fun part, right? We get to laugh at ourselves. So as I was getting everything ready to go, I had the opportunity to revisit the bag and pull out the clothes that I ideally like to wear. And I got to bag up the clothes, like I said, the hiding clothes. But I would have not seen that. I would have not been able to, had I not taken the time to pause, had I not been in this creative process, had I not have been walking out this life vision of really redefining fitness, because I do love to feel fat. I mean, who doesn't like to feel fabulous? And to really be congruent with what the universe has for me in terms of health. I can eat clean, but I can still overeat clean. I can exercise and I can over exercise, or I can make justifications as to why I don't exercise, or I can make excuses why I don't, lift the weights. I can do all sorts of finagling that will hold me in a place of justification. There's the word. I justify my behaviors. And so when I am ultimately willing to walk out truth in my life, which is not always easy. I mean, we talk about this being a fun concept, allowing and enabling it to be fun, because it feels fun, more fun for me when I'm at my ideal weight, living my ideal lifestyle. There's a sense of femininity. There's a greater sense of femininity, I should say. There's a greater availability, a self-acceptance, all of those key aspects of women, being a woman. And I'm sure it's the same for men as well. But I know for myself, when I am at that sweet spot, there is nothing that tends to affect me. I feel much more grounded, much more centered, because I'm in agreement with where I'm headed. So as we walk this truth into the outer world this year with redefining fitness and really finding out our key food plan for ourselves, and it's not going to be anything that anybody else can describe for you, but when I can eat the foods that I know allow me to feel clean, and I eat them in the right portion, and I know that my exercise is balanced with the food, and I know that I'm drinking enough water, and I'm taking the herbs or the supplements or whatever my body needs for the day, and I know that I'm doing my spiritual practice, and I know that I'm living my day in terms of walking out the intention for the day in a loving, kind, compassionate, and for me free way. When I'm doing all of those things, I'm firing on all cylinders. That for me is fitness. That for me is the ability to know that I am living the dream. So what I encourage every woman is to begin to maybe describe, define, find, be willing to receive that area of self, that aspect of self that may invite you to hide, justify, make excuses for, or enable you, right? Into accepting things that aren't really in agreement with where you would like to be. I think that's the greatest piece with coming back to truth, and to be willing to hold our feet to the fire personally and collectively. Like I mentioned, the opportunity to co-inspire. Sitting with my girlfriend last night, like I mentioned briefly, the opportunity to be really true around this idea of my food, and this idea of, I'm grateful for the progress that's been made, and yet the fear that this is as good as it gets, and the reality is that it's not. There's more letting go for me yet again. And I think the idea of letting go, this idea of hiding, in whatever form that it has taken on, manifest, and I've allowed it to manifest for the last however many years, turning the light on it was a big starting piece for me, a big clue for me as a woman. So I just invite everybody to take the time, over the course of this week, to maybe take a look at, where do I make excuses, justify, enable behaviors that are not in agreement with where I'm ultimately going. And be willing to let that go, if it means making a list of the ways that you walk that out, or the list of the ways that you act out that behavior, and communicating that with somebody. Take the power out of it. What a great way to set yourself free. So great week ahead for me. More action, getting ready for the classes, beginning, like I mentioned, on Monday, January 11th. And I hope that you will be joining me. If you have any questions, if you want to see if that's a good fit for you, you can always call me, text me, email me, find us on Facebook. We reached our 50, we have 50 likes, so if you know of anybody out there that would like this information or would like to participate in a class or workshop, feel free to share it. And I can always get in touch with them and answer any questions that they may have about the work that I do. My phone number is 520-270-0409. 520-270-0409. My email address is idealday.today@gmail.com. My email address again is idealday.today@gmail.com. I appreciate all of your support. I appreciate you sharing the videos. I appreciate you sharing the classes, the workshops, and upcoming events. And I really look forward to meeting you and greeting you in this new year as we continue to redefine what fitness is, continuing to allow it to be fun, intentional, and of course, transformative. Peace and blessings. Have a great week. Happy New Year to you, one and all. Blessings.